Good or bad?
I have.
Oh.
Yeah.
They have to help them clear trail over.
So. Oh, there you go.
You guys are sick.
I know. Everybody's here today.
And, so I lived in the train, and so, the armor express home sellers oftentimes kept products for themselves. And, too much time has passed, so I didn't think anybody has it graded, so.
I'm here.
But they found more.
We only got a shower.
So, I looked into it, they weigh about 200 pounds.
We're just here. Yeah.
I was thinking, going back up here, but we can do that.
Because I think what happens when there's a corner, they're not gonna be watching. So this gives them a good approach there. You see it, I'm gonna start slowing down. This is where I'm at.
So this one, I'll take it
Well,
out,
and I mean, that's.
4x6,
I mean, that's-
and it's 25 mile.
What do we want?
So this is a. And it is one second on first.
Yeah,
You know,
oh, look, I'm at.
outside my picture, they can-
That would be a good spot, because then you come down here, you see it. It'll continue from this point.
Yes, it's right.
If it doesn't, I mean, I think that would be a good spot, because if we put it up earlier, versus.
No, I was.
Or just ask.
Yeah, I'm afraid that once they go on the curve. Once they succeed, they'll start slowing down, I guess. Right, because I sit here.
No,
You got around to
Same situation. But it's.
Yeah.
That's gonna be, that's the scariest one. We have to put monitoring on now.
We can never get answers from them.
Yeah.
The president of the state, applied for it. She wants to wait, but, that's.
Well, it's really complicated. Oh, I haven't seen that with those. Maybe that is- maybe that is- maybe once. But to the one, I think those times I can make all the hard controls. For that time period, because of their size, because we can't do anything. It's new, so we're potentially, when they don't have area or property where they don't isolate the property or property here.
7 o'clock, call meeting to order, please.
Yeah, it's.
Brian, can you lead us through the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Patton.
Here.
Chapman.
Here.
Fox.
Here.
Tyler.
Here.
Shearhart.
Here.
And Drake.
Here. I'd like to make a motion to approve agenda of May 14, 2025. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Number 5, approval of the minutes from April 9, 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll support that.
All in favor? Aye. Number 6, public comment.
So Matt Gabris, I'm a little further down on the agenda. Is it okay if I do my update on the fireworks one, public comment? I'm supposed to be somewhere else right now.
Yes.
Sure.
So the update is, we are $10,000 shy of being able to pay the bill for the fireworks, it's $25,000. We have all of our internal controls in place as far as all of our shooters, including myself, got our ATF license. And we've got the insurance all set. Obviously, the shooting field is all set. We want to take another discussion about whereabouts for that may be for later, but it's all set. I did approach Central Lake Township 2 months ago and asked for the same funds that we got last year, which was denied. And then I approached them last month with, I thought, more pertinent data, including some budget information, and was denied. But then a vote came up that, well, maybe we can give them a little bit because, and I won't verbatim, township doesn't have any money. So contingent upon our approval of our insurance paperwork, our ATF licensure, getting approved by their insurance company, we can get $2,000 from them. So, one of the board members, and that passed 3 to 5. 3 members out of the 5. So it essentially would pass as long as the paperwork goes through, which shouldn't be an issue. One of the board members after the meeting approached me, Stan, and said, why don't you reach out to the other townships? So I did. So I went to Kearney, Forest Stone, and Echo, and approached them. And this May, approached them, made my pitch, and said, hey, we're going to need some funds. All of our attendees, you know, it's a wide swath that these fireworks affect, and all 3 were positive, I guess, about it. So that's what I say. No commitments were made, but I asked Forest Stone for $2,000 to $2,500, and I asked Kearney for $1,600 and Echo for $900. And the way I got my numbers, the first one was kind of a shoot from the hip, but the last ones I looked at the public information, general fund budgets, and I asked for 0.2% of their general fund for that, and where that 0.2% came from. It's the first time I was approaching, so it seemed somewhat reasonable. I told them I would be back in June for their meeting and to be put on the agenda. So if that goes through, then that's around, just doing a quick math, about $5,000 or so for those 3, not including the Central Lake Township, $2,000 probably. So I guess what I'm asking the village is, I know we have contingent approval on township matching funds, but I guess I would ask the village to consider whatever I can get from matching funds from other townships, including Central Lake Township, if you would consider that as a match. Central Lake Fireworks Committee met this week. Some other items too. We have some other fundraisers that are planned. The biggest one we have another raffle coming up. Our gun raffle that we do every year. I think we're sold out of tickets now. That drawing is June 14th. But the other big fundraiser we have is the M88 garage sale. We're going to be accepting donations from anyone to bring them down to the wash basket between Memorial Day and June 13th. And everything sold at that garage sale in the parking lot there will be given to the fireworks fund. So we've got, thanks to Allie, we've got a Venmo account, a QR code. We're going to put a notice in the actual pen review.
That is 3 minutes.
So, thanks.
Well, can we extend her more time?
Hmm.
Because it's under old business and he has to go.
I did. It's okay.
You sure,
I
man?
think we got the gist.
Yeah, yeah, cheers.
Okay.
I just got one quick question.
Sure.
Is there any way do you feel that the township will come up with the other 5,500, change their mind?
I think there's a way they will come up with more. I don't know if it's 5,500. Yes, there's a plan in motion on that, just to fact check their math on money that they don't have, so that's a motion.
Thank you.
That's all I'll say about that right now.
Thank you, Matt.
You're welcome. All right, thanks, everybody.
All right, we'll see you, buddy.
Thank you.
Number 7, reports. 7A, police report. Scott. Oh, any more public comment? I apologize.
He's got all excited.
Okay.
Last chance. Okay, hopefully everybody gets a chance to look at the report. It's busy, obviously, summer comes along and more people come to town, so everything's pretty much highlighted on the report. I'll kind of go through training, kind of finished up one of the last mandatory training that we have to do. I think I got one more before the patrol car, most of you aware, kind of died out today. Water pump went out, and the water pump's internal, so they had to tear the whole front of the car apart. And they decided they were gonna change the timing chains at the same time, so kind of an unexpected bill, but it's, you know, what did I do math? 2015, it's 10 years old, so we've been very fortunate. That's really been the only big expense for that car that we've had, so it's back to running really well, so. Attended a couple meetings, I did present the tribal grant. Michelle got a chance to review it, Ron got a chance to review it. You guys will be talking about that later on. It just as a reminder, that's the tribal grant for the portable radios that we need. The radios that we have now will technically be non-functional come next year, next January, February. So these are newer radios that will kind of be something we can use. So, and hopefully that'll pay for everything, so there won't be an expense for us. All right, there is 25% match rate. And I think that you guys can talk about that in the beginning. Just some computer issues. Oh, the other thing is ordinance violations went out last week. 67 violations to about 40-some people. Some of them had duplicates. They're starting to come back. Phones starting to ring off the hook a little bit. We've got 2 or 3 of them solved already, but you know, a couple of people are kind of overwhelmed and don't think they can take care of it, but we'll work with them. So we've always worked with people in the past as long as they've kept in good communication with us and let us know what's going on. So something we definitely can probably solve or resolve, and if not, we'll probably got a couple stragglers that will have to go to the village attorney. So I know that was kind of quick, but we're trying to catch up on everything. Any questions? Great, thank you guys.
All right, thanks, Scott. DPW report, Jen.
Yeah, typical April, you know, started off putting away, cleaning, making some snow equipment, getting that put away, getting some summer equipment out. Typical getting your softball field, your parks ready, starting to clean up some grass areas. One water repair, fix a valve and meter, and that's pretty much the month.
Any questions for John?
We have another water line break, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, where's that at?
Old State, by the bridge.
Okay. So when Allie gets called, she's aware of it.
She's aware, she can put online, that'll be down private lane.
All right.
Then,
And so that's separate from what's going on at the corner store, right? They're just pumping out.
that's their sump pump, they've got to shut off now.
Okay, all right.
Usually runs with spring, otherwise they ran a little longer than usual. Still on the list for Arts for this power pole. He was gonna get to it this week, but he pushed it off again. But it is on the list.
Thank you, John. President's report, I just have one thing. On April 11th, I had an interview with the Rotary for a grant that was submitted by Pat Landrum and Dina Jardin. It was submitted on our behalf for a sidewalk going from the bridge west to Thurston Park Pavilion, and also update the bathrooms at the pavilion to make them ADA accessible. I thought the interview went great, but we'll find out the results of that in June. So, and again, it's no cost to the village, and I can't thank Dina enough for doing all the paperwork on that. That's all I have. Clerk and Treasurer's Report, Ally.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you all for allowing me to take the week off and go to training down in Mount Pleasant. I have one more year and I'll become a Michigan Certified Professional Treasurer. And with that certification, I'll also become a National Certified Public Finance Administrator. So that's pretty exciting. I learned a lot. I think in the future, we need to look into having a fund balance policy. In your packet, I broke down all the funds right now, which means how much we have in our fund, the type of fund it is, and then the state wants us to have at least 16.7% of our budget in our fund balance at least, so we can operate for at least 2 months. That's how they base it on. So I just wanted to give you guys a little review of that so far this year. Yeah. Oh, we also will need to work on a capital improvement plan. I guess we were supposed to have been doing this since 2008. It hasn't been done. So we need to look into that with our planning commission, and then that'll get passed on to the council. So yeah, just thank you for allowing me to go to training.
All right, any questions for Ally?
The last water bills went out okay?
Yeah.
Everything, yep.
Yep, everything went out really smoothly this time. So yeah, I think everything's keeping up now, so we're should be good. Catching accounts that have issues with meters, John's fixing them. It's been going well.
Thanks, Ally.
Thank you. Number 8, correspondence, trustee letter of interest, Don Tyrell. Attention Village of Central Lake, I am writing to express my interest in being considered for the open position on the village council. I have been a homeowner in the Village of Central Lake since 1997. I'm a retired engineer, having worked for General Motors for 38 years. Since retiring, I've enjoyed becoming engaged in local affairs in Central Lake, including attending multiple village council meetings. My wife and I have 2 wonderful young adult children. I continue to serve as the finance committee chairperson for my church. Additionally, I volunteer as National Ski Patroller, having served 42 years. All right, and you can see further down, we will be appointing John very shortly. Thank you, sir. Number 9, approval of the bills, $57,240.73. I'll move to approve the bills. Sorry. Roll call, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yep.
Shearhart,
Yes.
and Drake.
Yes.
Turn the page, number 10. Old business, we just heard from Matt Gabris. Check that one off. 10B, Gordy Fraser update, Jennifer.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. Yes, Jennifer Graham, Gordy Fraser, and it's been a minute since I've been here, so I appreciate you guys, your time tonight. A couple updates. I just heard Ally mention capital improvement plan, and correct. I mean, you guys as suppliers and facilitators of having a water and sewer system under the Michigan Planning Enabling Act are required to have a capital improvement plan. Just so you guys are aware, when you work through your planning commission, is items specific to the water and sewer infrastructure itself. I can provide that supplemental information. Every 5 years, as required by EGLE, we're responsible to provide what we call a water and sanitary reliability study. And so we've been doing that on your behalf. Unless EGLE grants a variance, there's times where they do, depending on the growth of the community. So when you do get to that point, feel free, and I can provide all the background information relevant to water and sewer. Then, of course, some of my experience too, working on the DNR applications for grants for the park projects. I have quite a bit of that background too. So please utilize me as a resource for that when you get to that point, if you guys so choose. Updates itself, sewer system. Yeah, we finally got EGLE permits, which is very exciting. And so we did submit the plans and specs to USDA. I know you hurry up and wait, and then we wait on other people. USDA is right in the midst of a transition with their previous, Blake Smith was the USDA representative, and now we have Megan that we're working with. So I'm coordinating with her. USDA's also this year updated some of their front end documents. So we're going through that exercise to get those updated. But it is my goal. I want to get this project up for bid, just like you guys, and move on with our lives with other projects. So right after Memorial Day is our intent to have those solicited for bids. We're gonna be breaking them out as 2 separate divisions. Just for reminder for this board is we were granted a little over 65% grant through USDA for this project. And the scope of it's going to be, it's been scaled back. It originally was gonna include the drain field, but as most of you are aware, we're still navigating that with Eagle, but we are able to use all the funds provided to us, and prices are not getting any cheaper, but we're gonna be replacing the 2 existing pump stations, bringing them to current standards, codes and guidelines, which is gonna be great for you guys, and also lend itself some capacity for growth. So those 2 pump stations are gonna be replaced, the cluster pumps as well. And then, so that's gonna be bid out as one package for one contractor. And then the other one is all the septic tanks on all the residents' side. Inspection of those, cleaning, and then we've already gone through and inventoried all of them, so we've identified the ones that do need new lids and risers and GPS them all. And so we have that data available for the contractors, but first and foremost is cleaning them, which is gonna be great, and then implementing any corrective repairs. So we're gonna break that out as a separate division, just to give access to some other contractors. And hopefully lend itself some more competitive pricing, so that it doesn't fall into one bucket, because there are local contractors here. I anticipate that could do a lot of the septic tanks themselves. But I can entertain any questions you guys have. It's gonna be a project that I anticipate starting this fall. A lot of it, if anything, maybe the septic tanks, and then equipment ordering for the station, shop drawings, things like that. Also, the station here is gonna include a generator, but we've doubled up the generator to also provide backup power supply for the village hall, which will be great. So I guess that's fortuitous.
Yes.
By waiting, that we're able to provide that for you guys. So that's lumped into this project. But it's gonna be a project that's gonna carry over into next year too. And we'll be providing all the construction oversight and inspection for that. But I can entertain any questions on the sewer that you guys have for me.
People are asking about when they think tanks will start being pumped.
I mean, we're gonna give contractors flexibility. That's
Okay.
the best way that I can.
Do we send out a notice to the
Oh, absolutely.
homeowners?
Yeah, once we get a contractor lined up, we'll work with them on a schedule, much like with the lead service line inspections. But right now, how it's gonna be bid out is they're gonna have a timeline to the end of next year and let them kind of dictate their schedule, because we're finding if we give bidding contractors a large window of time for them, we're getting better pricing. It used to be, we bid it out in December and we'll get good prices, or even November, we'll get good prices for the spring. Well, contractors are bidding all the time, just like the rest of us, so we just give them big windows of time. So I'm hoping it'll be this fall that they'll want to start, but I can't commit to that. But what we will do is I have a list of all your customers, and we'll be sending out letters and making sure that all of us are, as a team, communicate with everyone the best that we can. So, good question.
All right.
Park, yes, we spoke to that piece. Otherwise, the other element for funding is through DNR. And we're just on a holding pattern until we get the DNR finalizes an agreement so that we can move ahead with the kayak launch and that piece and work with Pan Am. So they're gonna be a good partner for you guys. And I think later, Rob, the water grant, is that?
You're up in a couple pages.
Cool, all right.
Right.
Appreciate your time, thank you.
Let's see, so we talked about the kayak launch, the generator, pump tanks. New business, DPW garage insulation quote, warmer mornings. John, can you just fill us in again why we're insulating that?
Yeah, I just proposed, been thinking about it for a few years. I mean, that building was original flat roof that they put trusses over. In the winter, snow, especially this year, it ices up terrible. There's zero insulation up top, and I started asking Allie what our natural gas bills are during the winter, and they're quite high. So I just had Warmer Mornings come out and quote us a bid to blow in 18 inches up top. And that's what this, I don't remember off the top of my head, it was
16.4.
16.4. And then and it's not on here, it'd be another 1,000, roughly around 1,000 to do gutters too on the front side.
Are we gonna vote on this, or is that just,
There's not an action item this meeting. to come in.
if anybody's been at the garage in the wintertime, that's just an accident waiting to happen, especially in front of the entrance door.
Yeah, it's important work to do for safety and for the well-being of the building, the lifespan of the building, for sure.
Yeah, I think still got a few years on shingles. But yeah, just a little heat retention and,
I think with the price of our gas bills in the winter, it won't take long to pay. for
I think
something.
it'd take a few years, yeah.
So this will be on the agenda for next month, Ally?
Yep.
Okay.
So we want to make it as an action item for next month for 17-4 to include gutters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, John.
Yeah, and one of the employees that works for Warren Mines does the gutters.
Okay.
I think that money does good work. That'd just be the front side. The back side doesn't matter.
11B, police millage renewal.
All right. The wording in front of you was drafted by our attorneys. It has the same coverage as our last millage. Nothing's different about it. But our millage is going to expire after this year. And as we know, that really helps our police department.
Well, it funds our police department.
Exactly. Yeah.
Get the bike off the wall.
Well,
That's
We
further
will,
down.
I
yeah.
think we got it down on the other page, right?
That's 12B.
so we're just looking at renewing the millage that's already in place.
Mhm.
Same amount, no changes. To continue funding our police department.
Number 12, action item. Approve BSNA annual software payment in the amount of $3,269.00.
BSNA is all of our software for taxes to accounts receivable, to accounts payable, what else? Payroll,
Water bills.
water bills. Yeah, it's very, very important. And this helps for support in case anything goes wrong, which it does. And
I'll make a motion to approve BSNA's annual software payment.
Roll call, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yep.
Shearhart,
Yes.
and Drake.
12B, what we were just talking about. Approved ballot language for the police millage renewal with resolution number 6 of 2025.
I'll move to approve that language.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yep.
Shearhart,
Yes.
and Drake.
Yes.
Turn to page number C, letter C. Approved Gordy Frazier MEDC WRI grant opportunity application work for $5,000 out of the water fund. Well, Jeff, you just want to talk about what we're proposing here?
Sure. And Ally, I had sent some stuff. Did this memo get in front of them or no?
Yes, that was earlier when they were
Okay.
speaking.
So you guys will see, yeah, with our letterhead, there's a memo, just to kind of provide a high-level overview of the grant. And we do, I mean, everything is last minute and urgency, but this came to my attention about mid-April. I had emailed you guys, and I think it was probably right at the cusp of, just had a council meeting or, shortly thereafter. Anyway, this is a grant through Michigan Economic Development Corporation that every third year they're releasing related to critical infrastructure, water and sewer. And Central Lake, we were fortunate to receive and be recipient of this grant in 2016, if you guys recall. Similar format and precedents intended to replace critical infrastructure, as I know, in water or sewer. And so again, looking through the parameters, you guys met the initial guidelines. And honestly, the HUD list, because that's what the first qualifier is everyone who meets it. The community meets a median income list of 51% or more. That actually list is quite large and continues to get larger as just with the cost of everything. So the grant itself is very competitive. But looking through everyone that qualifies in transparency and familiarization with your situation, you guys in Bel Air were the two that were a focus for me. That I could see had a great opportunity for having access to this grant. And primarily because of the history that you guys experienced with water main leaks, which we just talked about one again, and lead service lines. And that's been validated through the grant that we got last year through Eagle, because you guys have been doing a lot of those investigations on those lead service lines and continue to find a lot that either have the gooseneck or lead components within them. So this grant itself, I sat in a couple webinars for it just to make sure and check off the list and confirm for me, points, because it is competitive, it's all points driven. And points in the aspect, they look at what your match is, what your income is, and the criticality you need for the project. So with you meet the income criteria, so that gave lenses for you guys 5 points. Match is a minimum of 10%, the rest is grant. Now, the more you match, if you can match 25% or more, that gives you access to an extra 15 points. And that would be what I would be proposing for you guys, just to ensure that we really solidify this. And then the other thing is really hammering on the criticality piece of this. What we're targeting, talking with DPW, is the portion of water main under M88, which is our oldest water main, our undersized water main, and the one that tends to break and leak the most and have the highest concentration of lead service lines. And running numbers, which you guys had in your packet as far as access to what's in your water sewer funds and trying to achieve that 25%, we kind of nailed down and targeted a range. We want to ask for $600,000 with a match of $150,000, which gives you guys 25%. Along M88 from Ballard to Brooks, thank you, is our target. Of course, we'd like to try to go for more, but again, we want to ensure success, and we also want to ensure that we still have access to funds for the future for continued maintenance and repairs. The grant is on an accelerated schedule, as they always are, so that's why I'm here before you guys tonight, since there's 3 action items really I'd be looking for. But the first one on your agenda is there is quite a bit of work on my end for this grant, whereas other grants that I have assisted you guys with, either I'm able just to kind of internalize it or keep the cost minimal. This one, we have to prepare a set of plans and specs, conceptual level. The goal would be is I would be doing most of the heavy lifting, working with you guys. I prepared the resolution that's in your packet, helping you because we got to do a public hearing, which is another step. And then there's 4 pages of narrative, just to really identify and solidify with them the urgency of this project, quantifying how many leaks we've had, and we can document that through boil water notices that you guys have done for your communities. We have all the lead service lines and their locations identified, and just, pleading our case that this is critical infrastructure at or near failure. And we're talking main that was put in, it predates 1957, I can say that. So it's pretty old. So that kind of outlines the scope of our contract of what I'd be looking for. That's the first item on your agenda, is assuming you guys want to move ahead with this. And the important piece with this is I noted it's a grant, whereas it's still on our list of moving ahead. Next steps is to apply to USDA, much like the sewer, for water infrastructure, but that's always a loan/grant where it will require this community, which we talked about, is raising our rates and taking out that loan. This project itself through the state doesn't require you looking at your rates. It's a grant. There are components with the contractor that require Davis-Bacon compliance certification. We'll have to do an environmental review. We'll have to hire a certified grant administrator, but a lot of those pieces itself that the grant application requires are funded separately through the grant. The elements related to the project construction, design, our inspection, would be part of this resolution that we're asking for of 600,000 plus 150,000 match. Our contract that you guys are looking at to approve to do the grant application, I can say it's not reimbursable, so that is a risk on you guys' end that we don't have the ability to roll in. And I want you guys to be aware of that. I am hearing that this is probably the last round of funding. They always say that for us to have access to grants for lead service line replacement. And I can't guarantee this grant will become available again next year. Historically, I've seen it come around every 3 years, but this is the only time this year and 3 years ago was the last time I've seen it specified to focus on lead service line replacement.
So this is basically the grant we've been waiting for and hoping for.
It'll help. Every little bit helps, and I really, right, I'm not trying to add more to my plate either, because I have enough to do for you guys to get through sewer stuff and other pieces, but I don't want us to miss this opportunity. And I am gonna be hoping and crossing my fingers and,
This is a main project, this isn't just a off the side street project.
yeah, this is right down the court, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely necessary, and
Yeah.
we're already throwing money into that old infrastructure. Continually, we'd be kind of silly not to pursue this.
Yeah. Well, and we talk about it, when you look at your water loss, which is part of something that we monitor on you guys' behalf, and you guys average about 25-30%. And that's basically leaks that go into the ground. So you're pumping that water that you could sell to customers, but you're actually just, putting it back into the ground. That's lost revenue.
Yeah.
And this would definitely help that, because I think we would love to do more on M88, but, every little bit helps. And this one definitely is a critical area.
So then you need us to approve, first the application itself, correct?
Yeah, I think the first thing I did was just our contract to apply to MEDC on your behalf, and us doing the work in the grant application, work with staff.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We lose $5,000 worth of water.
Kim supported that.
Yeah, Kim supported roll call.
Patton,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yep.
Shearhart,
Yes.
and Drake.
Yes.
Thank you.
D, approve MEDC WRI grant opportunity application with President Rob Tyler as authorized signer with resolution number 7 of 2025.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, it's a resolution, we have to do a roll call.
Oh, roll call,
Sorry.
thank you.
Patton,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yep.
Shearhart,
Yes.
and Drake. Thank you.
And then the other ask I have, aside from working with staff, is as I had mentioned, that we do have to host a public hearing. And that this grant is due May 30th, so I've got 16 days. But we have to have the public hearing before May 30th when the grant's due. But it has to have the grant application itself available if anyone in the public wants to review it. So with that being said, I need some time to get our application together, and we're gonna make a huge effort for next week, but I would be looking for the week of May 26th for this council. Hopefully you guys are available, or at least a quorum, to host a public hearing. And
We've
if I,
got the date all set, right, Alan?
Yep, it should be May 27th at 4 p.m.
oh, you do? Oh,
Yeah.
well then, you're right.
We're ahead.
Yeah, that works perfect, because I'm doing Bel Air's at 2, and then I'll come up, yeah, so that works well, so I appreciate that.
Was it?
May 27th at 4 p.m. here. Yep, and it'll be put in the record Eagle as well.
And then I'll work with LEU on all that stuff, so.
Okay.
good, let's get some more money up here in northern Michigan, so I
Yay.
appreciate your time, thank you so much.
E, approved payment of $6,044.97 to Sagasser and Associates for the drainage field project.
This is another invoice for the project that you all approved. We just like, if for high amounts, the auditors like it if we pass it in the minutes again. You've already passed a
We've already
budget, but.
approved the amount, now we're just approving to pay the invoice, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
So moved.
I'll second. Roll call, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yep.
Shearhart
Yes.
and Drake.
Yes. F, approve police radio tribal grants application for 3 radios. Scott, do you have anything to add on this one? I think you already enlightened us earlier.
You guys have a copy of do they have a copy of the grant or the proposal or?
No.
I don't have it in front of me, but I think it's officially like $11,000 or something like that. By street rated portable radios, including all the chargers, batteries, stuff like that.
When's the due date for the applications?
Well, there's 2 ways, and this is kind of part of the discussion that Rob and Michelle and I had, that if we get the grant to go through now, the deadline is May 30th, the 31st. It's all written, ready, rock, and roll, to go, so we'll need that. The goal would be to get the grant, if we do get it, that we can actually purchase the radios, get them programmed and everything, and so comes next January, February, they're good to go. If not, the second wave of the grant would be, the due date would be December 31st or somewhere in December. By the time we got the grant, ordered the radios, got the program, we probably would be able to use it until like next summer. So this would be perfect opportunity. If we don't get the grant, then we're gonna try something else and we're going to keep going as far as trying to figure out something else too, so.
Because we do have to make that replacement, whether we get the grant or
Yeah,
not.
it's a necessary evil. I
Yeah.
mean, the radios we have now are just not really that. One of the things that the county is going to do and focusing on is trying to put a repeater on the tower behind the school. Right now, if I key up my radio, which is not really functional most of the time, it's got to hit the tower at Atwood. So this little portal that's at the tower at Atwood, Atwood's got to send it back to dispatch to communicate. So I have a repeater in town here, it's a shorter distance. By that time, we got much better. These radios are probably 20 years old. So when you think about your cell phone, think about anything that's electronic, if it's more than 5 years old, it's probably outlived its life, so.
I'll move to approve the grant application. All in favor of approval of the grant, say aye.
Aye.
G, approve blight removal company. This was, the blight removal company put in the one bid to clean up the one house, and that's the only bid we've got.
What, hold on.
One,
That bid was for how much?
Ally,
I didn't include it. I didn't get an updated one, so I'm not sure.
it was
8,000,
6,700.
6,700. Do they have a date on there when they could possibly get completion?
as soon as we get verbiage from the attorney, then we'll put the on or after date and notify the homeowner, and then it is up to that company to come out.
So it's like a step-by-step process, so we've got the lawyers with the paperwork that we need to do. We've already got the court approval to do this. And then, and so then the blight removal company would give us a window of time, and then we let the homeowner know that have anything that you don't want removed.
It's coming down.
Yeah.
Coming down.
Yeah. And so it
Does that
was,
include that building
Yes.
that caught on fire?
so it's to clean up the property.
If anybody drives by there every day, it gets worse every day.
It really does. Really does.
So, did Shane make that motion, or? I don't
He
know.
did.
He did.
Shane,
You make a motion.
Yeah,
I'll make a motion that it hasn't been made.
perfect, yep. Anyone
That's
second?
underground, right?
Yep, that's
Yep.
underground, that's the only one I've seen.
I'll second.
All right, now we're spending some money, so let's do a roll call.
Patton,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Fox,
yes.
Tyler,
Yep.
Drake.
Yes.
H. Appoint Don Tyrell as trustee to fill the seat vacated by Mike Green.
I move to appoint.
I got one, but.
Yeah.
Was he the only one?
Yep.
Okay. Just check. Sorry.
So Fox moved and
Jeff.
Chapman supported.
All approved?
All in favor?
All right. All right,
And then, look, we have to swear him in.
you gotta swear him in.
Swear
Yep. All right, Don, if you want to stand up. Just please repeat after me.
Okay.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of the state,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties of the office
and that I will faithfully perform the duties of the office
of village trustee
of village trustee
in and for the village of Central Lake,
and for the village of Central Lake,
county of Antrim,
county of Antrim,
in the state of Michigan,
in the state of Michigan,
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
for the best of my ability, so help me God.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Doesn't take much to get me wound up. That's really exciting.
We had one applicant?
Wow.
That's right.
All right. With that, 13, public comment. All right, we'll close public comment. 14, adjournment. To make a motion to adjourn, I'll do it. Any second?
Thanks, Don.
All right, thanks, Don, I appreciate it.
You don't want to.
All right.
All right.